Great. Good afternoon and welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz. That's right, it's tea time. And today in the studio I have Tom Connors, the founder and creator of the Global Peace Challenge 2020. So I'm going to share a little bit on Tom, and then Tom is going to share about this incredible project. And my phone goes out all the time. On January 1st, 2020, Tom launched Global Peace Challenge 2020 with a basic website and a handful of volunteers. The organization started with 2 peace ambassadors and in 6 short months has grown to approximately 60 peace ambassadors worldwide, despite the limitations of a global pandemic. Tom is originally from Massachusetts, but now lives in Underhill, Vermont in the USA. He recently retired as a Chief Financial Officer at the Vermont Housing Finance Agency, where he was responsible for the overall directions of the financial, accounting, and investment areas of this not-for-profit affordable housing agency. During his time at VHFA, he managed a $500 million balance sheet and issued approximately $1.5 billion in bonds and notes to finance affordable housing in Vermont. Prior to joining the VHFA, Tom held senior financial positions at Trak Sports USA, IDX Systems Corporation, and Information Resources. He has also worked as an adjunct accounting professor at both Champlain College and the Community College of Vermont. Tom currently serves as a volunteer board member at the Energy Co-op of Vermont and serves as board treasurer. He also serves as the board of Resource, a Burlington-based nonprofit community enterprise for 15 years, and serves as board president, vice president, and treasurer during that tenure. Tom holds an MBA in finance from Bentley University and a BA in business administration from St. Michael's College. Tom is excited, and he has been able to focus his retirement time on launching and growing Global Peace Challenge 2020. Well, welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Liz.
You have the stage now.
All right. I was thinking this might be my first tea party since my daughters were, 5 years old, and they're in their 30s now. So,
wow. I'm
not a regular at tea parties.
And we won't say how old you are.
Thank you. Old enough. I think this is a great forum. I've been a big fan since I met Liz through some of our other peace ambassadors, and have enjoyed watching her interview other peace ambassadors. So it's been a fun experience for many people involved in our movement. So like Liz said, I launched this project January 1st. It's something I thought about for a long time. I got the idea from a young man I met a few years ago who was a student at Champlain College who had been working since he was a young boy to try to foster peace between the youth of his country of Palestine and the youth of Israel. And it was quite inspiring to see all the different groups and organizations that he had worked on. And I just decided that if somebody that young can work towards peace, then why can't I? So I thought a lot about launching this project, and it got a lot of momentum. I became very uncomfortable, disturbed with the spike in racism and hate crimes, and the targeting of different ethnic groups, specifically in my own country, but it also in the world. It just seemed like over the last few years there's been a real increase in unpleasant, unnecessary, negative conversation and activities, and I just wanted to launch something that was more positive. Just maybe, I know Liz was thinking about going through the website, but I thought I would just read the mission statement on our first page of our website.
Do you want me to bring the website up?
I can read this first and then we can bring it up.
Okay.
But the purpose of the movement, I think this kind of summarizes it. The purpose of the movement is to build and grow a grassroots online volunteer community of peacemakers and peace seekers to encourage, promote, and chronicle peace-focused activities throughout the iconic year 2020. So we always had the year 2020 as a focus point, and little did we know that the year 2020 would become so iconic between a global pandemic, which has obviously affected the whole world, and also the renewed attention towards racial equality. And those things interact with our project a lot, in that I think we benefited from people being cooped up in lockdown because more people were online and looking for things to do and things to belong to. So I guess I don't think there's any such thing as a silver lining to a pandemic, but I think our project benefited from the fact that people were, they were looking for something positive. They were looking for something positive in a very trying, stressful time in their lives. And we always wanted to focus on human rights and civil rights, and that was our focus before all the focus came on with the different issues with racism and racial equality, the marches and things like that. So, it's an interesting time to be launching this project. The negative thing about the pandemic is that we have a lot of plans to do outdoor activities, like participate in marches and vigils, peace vigils, participate in concerts or festivals that had a peace theme, and work with a lot of different groups. We in January and February had made a lot of progress working with college students and enrolling college students that wanted to work with us. We had some great experiences with elementary school children that had done their own peace project. And just as we were really starting to make some momentum, the pandemic hit and everybody got locked down and sent home. So it's kind of, it's a double-edged sword. We obviously had a lot of things we wanted to do that we can't do, or at least not the first half of the year. And but we have the benefit of the internet, and we've been able to recruit, as Liz said, close to 60 people all over the world that are interested in our mission.
And I'm just going to bring the website up so you can explain a little bit of the website, Tom.
Sure. So as Liz mentioned in the introduction, we started off with a very basic website. I can't emphasize enough that we're a volunteer organization, and we have minimal resources. No one gets paid. No one's making any money. Everybody's volunteer, which makes it an even more amazing group of people. So the first page on the website, which again is pretty basic but very functional and really accomplishes what we needed. The first page talks about what is Global Peace Challenge 2020. And as I mentioned, it's an online volunteer organization. One of the things we mentioned on that page is that we tried to focus on 5 key dates during the year. The first was January 1st, which is New Year's, as you know, but we kind of renamed it as Love Your Neighbor Day. So that was kind of our first attempt at getting some publicity, and we had some success with that. And then the second date was Leap Day, because this is a leap year, so there's an extra day, February 29th. So we launched a couple of things around Leap Day. And then the next big day is the International Day of Peace, which is in September. So the second tab that Liz has moved into is our events calendar. We've included things that are on, say, the United Nations calendar, but also added some of our own things. One of our next initiatives is we're supporting the Peace Wave, which you'll see on there August 6th through 9th. And the Peace Wave is one of many activities or events that are being conducted around that time to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan that ended World War II. And we're trying to support that as best we can. We're getting involved in local activities that where we can, and also supporting international activities. So the next tab is the Peace Team, and if you hover over that, you'll see that there's a drop down to go to the Peace Team up there. So the drop down menu, and there's the Board of Advisors, which is basically people that help me out a lot to get things launched, help me out with the technical side of things. I've got a little bit of legal advice, some marketing advice, help with the website. So that's what the Board of Advisors is. And then the next tab is the Peace Ambassadors. If you click on that, Liz mentioned we basically started out with 2 Peace Ambassadors. And if you go down there and you look at the bottom of that screen, you'll see that on that screen there are 10 people. And then if you look down below, we have 6 pages of Peace Ambassadors from around the world. So we're a little shy of 60 people, but so there's 6 pages of Peace Ambassadors. And the interesting thing about our Peace Ambassadors is that everybody's got a little bit different background. We've got college professors, we've got civil rights activists, we've got peace activists, we've got people that have their own businesses, we have people that have their own causes, their own organizations, their own networks. It's just there's religious folks, people from religious orders, people from basically every major faith, color, cultural background. It's quite a diverse group of people, and it's been amazing to see those people come together and talk and plan and share ideas. And then so as we grew, we decided we need to do some things to get organized. So one of the things we did to get better organized was to form committees. So we've got, I think it's 5 committees. So we have an oversight committee, which is our leadership team. We have a membership committee, which oversees kind of what we expect from people that want to join the project, what their credentials should be, what their interests should be, what their level of participation will be. We have a music committee. I've always wanted to have music be a major part of this mission, and so we have a music committee. We have an editorial committee, which is really kind of more traditional media. One of the things they've started working on is an electronic magazine. And then the last committee is the social media committee, which oversees our social media activities. Facebook is kind of the prominent one, but also helps. We've been making some changes as far as our infrastructure, our electronic infrastructure, looking at using Microsoft Teams as an important way to stay organized. So the social media committee focuses on things like that. Peace action pledges. That's not something we've spent a lot of time focusing on, but I think it's something worth talking about. Peace action pledges is a place where if somebody is not an active member of our project, if they haven't, they're not a peace ambassador, but they're just an average person that wants to contribute their activity or wants to share an activity that they've been that they've pledged to do or that they have been doing, that they feel supports our mission. So a lot of that could tie back to the pandemic, in that people are doing things for other people that they might not have been doing. They're helping out their neighbors, they're collecting food for food shelves, just things that are really contributing to peace in their home, in their family, and in their community. So those are an example of some peace action pledges. We also have a place where someone can make a donation that links to our GoFundMe page. As I mentioned, we are a volunteer organization, so no one makes any money. No one gets paid, but we do have expenses tied to supporting our website or our Zoom account. And we also have some plans for some major events towards the end of the year that we expect we'll have to write some fairly large checks. So, the goal is to have a operating fund that we can go to at the time that we need it. The next tab is our mailing list. So we have about 120 people on our mailing list right now. There's some. Oh,
Nope.
we won't talk about the blog. I guess I had to update something this morning. But there's also a tab. So we one of the ways that we keep people up to date, and this is the main reason for our mailing list. It's an electronic mailing list. Is we put out a newsletter approximately once a month, and that's sent out through email. Liz has clicked on a link that I posted this sheet about the Peace Wave, which if somebody wants to understand more about what the Peace Wave is all about that we're supporting, there's a link to that. And then there's also a monthly newsletter. If you go back, so you see we didn't have one in the early couple months, but there's the March link has a newsletter. March, April, May. I'm due to get one out this weekend. We'll see how that goes. I just depends on how long this interview goes. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I need to get back to your.
Okay.
And then we have the playlist.
So we have a Peace playlist, which is just it's a Spotify playlist that has songs that we feel are relevant to our mission. And then the contact is if you just want to get in touch and ask us a question or tell us about something. If you have a question about the mission, if you have something you want to share and you want to get in touch with us. So that's what the contact tab is about.
And that's our walkthrough through the website.
Okay.
There's a reason why we wanted to do the website. Me and Tom had talked about it before the tea time. We wanted people to understand the different tabs on the website. So I'm going to bring up the GoFundMe. So if anybody would like to make a donation or anything, you can talk about that as well, Tom.
Okay. Yeah, I did want to spend a couple of minutes. The GoFundMe, actually, you probably should take it down because it's got some people's names on there that we made.
Okay.
It's not a big deal, but there is a GoFundMe page. The challenge, so when we first started out, as I mentioned, we're a volunteer organization. We assumed we wouldn't need a lot of funds, but we knew we would need some. So we decided to start the GoFundMe page. Over time, as people joined the project as peace ambassadors, I would say about half to 2/3 of the people are very engaged. They join our Zoom calls every other week. They post things that we can put on our Facebook page. They're regular post. We have a WhatsApp chat. A lot of people are very active in that, and so several of the people are very active. But what we were concerned about is that people were joining, getting a title as a peace ambassador, receiving a certificate, and then we didn't hear from them again. And just being totally honest here. So we decided to make it a little bit harder to join because we wanted people to really be committed. We wanted people that really believed in the mission, and we wanted people that would stay engaged. So we implemented a one-time fee, a one-time $10 application fee. And then the person has to fill out an application, and we ask them to explain what activities they've been involved in their life. And it can be loosely related. It could be a social work that they do, volunteer work that they do, but also what they feel that they can continue to do to support our mission. We're planning a music event late in the year, and part of that could be to recruit musicians to participate in the music event, or maybe that person is a musician themselves and they offer to participate as a musician. It really could be anything, but anything that's related, and it's not meant to be a burden at all. It's meant to be their opportunity to participate in a mission. So we did tighten up our application process. Then once somebody's approved, we actually, as I mentioned before, we have a membership committee. Each person that applies is their application is an online application, and they their application is forwarded to the membership committee. Once we have a majority of approval, yes votes, then we get back to them. We congratulate them for becoming a peace ambassador, and then we ask them to pay the additional $10 as a membership fee. So the total one-time donation is $20. And so when folks can make that payment through the GoFundMe page. One of the challenges we've had is that we have, obviously, as we mentioned, people that are located all over the world. So GoFundMe doesn't work in every country. So we've had to get a little bit creative and almost work on a one-on-one basis with folks that to help them figure out how to make their contribution. The other thing I just want to also emphasize is that we're working with a lot of people that, they're different age groups. We've got some very young people, we've got students, we've got people in third world countries that have poor internet. We've got people that are running their own NGOs that are struggling to raise their own funds. So if someone just doesn't feel that they can make that one-time contribution, then we ask them just to ask us for a waiver, and we would look at that as a it's really that they can make up for the lack of any financial contribution with their effort and their contribution.
So I just want to let you know, Tom, that we have a few of the ambassadors that are in the studio and on the watch party. So we have Dr. Peral, we have Galit, and we have Anjay who are watching. So three supporters of different ambassadors from different countries. One thing I can say about this project is it's very supportive. It's really got each other's backs. We're all helping each other out. We're all getting to learn different projects and different social platforms and that as well. So that's one thing I really want to thank you for, Tom, is letting me be a part of this amazing project and getting to know all these incredible people, because I would not know any of these people without you having me a part of this. So
yeah, it's been a great experience for me. I mean, I think the nice thing about a project like this is I think it's pretty safe to say that the people that are involved are good people, and they're well-meaning. They have good hearts. They're very supportive of each other, and it's been a great learning experience. I mean, feels like every third or fourth application, I've got to go on Google and figure out where the country's located.
That's what we were saying yesterday, right? Like, where's that country? I've never heard of that country before.
And in elementary school, I did really well in geography, but even that's a long time ago, and the countries aren't even called the same thing as they were back then. So.
I know, right? It's like, okay, where are you?
Right. But it's been fascinating. For me, it's been a great learning experience and a great personal experience to get to know all these amazing people from all different countries and backgrounds, and so. Yeah,
lots of different flavors and lots of amazing people on
right.
board.
And lots of different personalities.
Oh my goodness, yes. What message would you like to give everybody about global peace, Tom?
First, I have to drink some of my tea.
There you go. And yes, he is drinking tea.
And I told her, I confessed up front that it's iced tea, that I'm drinking in a mug that my tea gave me. So, I think the message I would like to give is that there are a lot of really good people in the world that really care for people that are different from them. And I think a lot of the stress, racial stress, wars, conflict between countries, conflict between people, a lot of it just comes down to people not making the effort to get to know somebody else. I'll be perfectly honest. I was raised as a Catholic. I was raised in a very white town. I went to high school in a section of Boston, actually during some very serious racial tensions, during integration in the late 60s and early 70s. And it was a real education for me. And I think the first time I met somebody that I knew was a Muslim was 5 years ago. I mean,
Wow.
I think when you're raised first of all, most people don't spend a lot of time outside of the town or the state or the country that they were raised in. And I've just come to really appreciate different people's religions. That I've come to the conclusion that basically every major religion promotes or teaches peace. Every major religion is based on love for each other. And I just think it's really important that people remember the basic lessons that love one another, treat people the way you want to be treated, the golden rule. And if everybody thought that way every time they met somebody that was different from them, I think we'd all be a lot happier in life.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And also, just because your leader tells you to hate somebody, don't listen to them. I mean, seriously, live your life based on love and caring about people that are different from you, and the world will be a much better place.
So some of the projects that you were talking about that were on the event calendar, Tom, like the Peace Wave and that, but we also have an event going on worldwide for the children. I'm going to bring that up. It's going to go on top of us. So it's going to cover you a bit for a few seconds, but maybe you can talk a little bit about that as well.
Sure. Well, as we've, we hit our 6-month milestone, if you will. That's around the time that we got close to 60 ambassadors. And it was a good time for us to kind of step back and say, okay, what are our main projects? What are the main things we want to accomplish? And I mentioned before, we're organizing a music event towards in the fall. But we also really wanted to, and if you look at our first page, there's information there about how we wanted to engage people of all age groups, specifically college students, young children, and kind of teach the whole idea of peace to them. And so we've launched one initiative, which is what Liz just put up. She did this poster for us. We're looking to try to gather artwork and things like that from children that have them explain what peace means to them. So that's a very recent initiative. We're also supporting the Peace Crane project, which is a project where students are invited to make origami peace cranes. And it's really like a pen pal type of thing where originally it was meant to be done in the classroom. Obviously, a lot of children have not been in the classroom for months, but it's also something that could be done at home. And it's a peace crane is a symbol of peace. It's an origami crane, relatively simple paper art craft. And the idea is that children can make a peace crane or more and send them to children in other countries, almost like a pen pal type of thing. Back when I was younger, we had pen pals. And it's meant to encourage children to get to know different cultures, get to know different people of different races and faiths and countries. And it's a learning experience. It's a geography lesson. It's a writing lesson. It's an art lesson. The other part of it is that they are invited to write messages on the peace cranes that they then send to students somewhere else in the world. So it's and it's also a really nice exercise for parents or grandparents or teachers or adults to work with children to help them understand that maybe their part of the world is at peace, but other parts of the world are not. Or maybe they live in a safe neighborhood, or that maybe they live in a safe state or country, but a lot of other children do not. So, it's obviously you don't want to burden really young children with, a lot of serious topics, but just knowing that other children in other countries, in other parts of your country or the world, are just like you. They're learning the same things. They want to. They love art. They love to. They want to know people that are different from them.
So if anybody wants to know anything, they can check out the Facebook page. I believe you're going to be putting something up for the crane, or is there something up on the?
Yeah, I don't remember if we put anything up about the crane project yet, but if we haven't, I will do that.
Okay. So if anybody wants to check out the Facebook page, you guys can check it out on Facebook. Just put in Global Peace Challenge 2020. And if you'd like to know more about it, you can also reach out to Tom or one of the ambassadors. I have shown all of the ambassadors that we have so far. I wanted to highlight all of the ambassadors to give them a light and a face as well, because there are incredible people on this project that are doing amazing things. So keep your eyes open. Check out their Facebook pages. Check out their projects. We have Mimi, who's doing I Shine Bright project. Check that out. That's on every Tuesday. Very inspirational show. Gallet has a campaign going on for the children of the future. We know the signs. Check that out. Tom has a lot of other things that he's involved in, so make sure to check that out. And reach out to Tom. Tom's a pretty cool guy. He's easy to talk to and easy to pick on.
Don't encourage that.
So, Tom, since we're on tea time, what does tea mean to you?
Well, actually, before we talk about tea,
okay,
I did want to go back to the music marathon.
Oh, okay.
Because we do want to encourage people, if they are a musician or they know a musician that may want to participate in this. We have a tentative date of October 23rd and 24th, although we were planning to do a 24-hour marathon. We're kind of rethinking that based on some feedback we've gotten from some experts. But you can use the contact form on the website if you are interested in showcasing yourself as a musician, or if you know of musicians that might want to participate in that. So I wanted to make sure we spent a little more time on that before we moved along.
Did you want me to bring up one of the posters that I've made for?
Is that hard to do?
That's not hard for me to do. I can do it.
I mean, you could pull one up. The posters are a work in progress. We're trying to figure out how we want to market this. I think the important thing is we're encouraging music from all over the world. So we actually have representation from the United States, from the United Kingdom, from India, from Israel, from South Sudan. I think that might be it so far, but I'm a few in the United States. So, it's still fairly early in the planning process, but I think it's important to mention that we are encouraging music from people all over the world. I don't know if Liz is going to try to bring up.
Yes, I'm going to try and bring it up for you.
I'll sip on my tea.
Oh, there you go. So what does tea mean to Tom?
Tea for Tom. So right now I'm drinking iced tea. And for me, iced tea means refreshment, which is important. I think tea for a lot of people is a social event. It's a chance for people to get together. It means something, especially to people sometimes on a family level, where family members have kind of grown up drinking tea together. It's also a beverage that's pretty much worldwide, I believe. I think most cultures drink tea. So I think those are the main things. It's an opportunity for people to communicate, refresh, enjoy.
And I got you a poster.
Okay, great. So as we were just talking about, we're looking at we have tentative. I don't think that the October 23rd, 24th date will change, but I think we will probably do additional dates and shorter sessions rather than do a 24-hour session, because it's hard to manage. It's hard to staff. It's hard to get momentum, and I think it will get more attention if we have shorter, more frequent sessions. And that again is a learning. All this is a learning experience for all of us. I think we've all learned a lot on this project, and made a lot of great connections with musicians, music producers, music venues. I mean, it's just it's been a great learning experience and a grassroots effort.
It's really been a journey. And meeting new people and knocking on doors I thought I would have never knocked on. So
Right.
it has been truly a journey. So I would like to know what your final message is to everybody, and then I'm going to close up this tea time, and I will let you enjoy your afternoon.
Okay. Well, I just think that the final message is what I said before, that we're all human beings. I think we all have strengths and weaknesses. We all have fears. Sometimes we have fears of different people that are different from us. And I feel like the world would be a better place if we all made an effort to get to know people that are different from us, and try to understand if there's a conflict or a disagreement. Try to understand the other person's point of view. You won't always agree, but sometimes you'll find that you have a lot more in common than you realize. And so I think a lot of it is just having an open mind and be willing to learn more about people that are different in different countries, different languages, different faiths, different colors. And I think you'll find that your group of friends will be a lot more interesting and a lot more fun and a lot more, you'll have a more fulfilling life. I think if you get to know people that are different.
Awesome. Well, what I get from this tea time is let's just keep spreading peace. Let's just get to know one another, and don't be so fast to judge. You might be surprised who is behind that person that you might have not known about if you wouldn't have reached out and just said hi. A simple hi is peaceful. Be kind to one another, and check out all of the incredible global peace events that are going on throughout the year. Global Peace Challenge, I believe Tom is going to be sharing different events in that from different projects as well, from different
Right.
global peace organizations, and that was one of the things that he was keen on, and was getting that out there, because there's not enough notice on global peace events out there. So thank you again, Tom, for joining me for tea time. And I will close up tea time with a little message from Miss Liz.
The Queen of Cornwall.
The Queen of Cornwall, that's me.
This is tea time, yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. This is tea time, yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, tune in to Miss Liz. Tea time, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. Tea time.
Thank you for joining me, Miss Liz, for tea time, making a difference, one cup of tea at a time.